Hey everybody, welcome to Living in Control. I'm Amiza Abraham.
And I'm Reza Abraham.
Our goal in this podcast is to present to you people and ideas to help us living an in-control life.
Over the years, we come across many people who wants to know the story of everyday people like you and me, but ambitious to live an in-control life. So if you are thinking being a pilot or becoming a lawyer is a pinnacle of one's goal, you must listen to our guest today. Living an in-control life sometimes begin with starting a business and pursuing your interests out of curiosity, which is one of the pillars of an in-control model.
So, in this episode, our guests are the founders of Air Boulevard, an online sustainable home goods store that was born from the aspiration to live sustainably and positively impact the earth by supporting responsible consumption and reducing waste in people's daily life. Let's welcome our good friend Shani and Clifford.
Hey!
Hello!
Hi guys!
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so a little bit of background of Air Boulevard. So Air Boulevard is based in Johor, Malaysia, and both Shani and Clifford are currently there right now. And Clifford is a pilot, and Shani is currently reading law. So both of them just started this business in the midst of the pandemic last year, right? So how are you guys doing over there?
We're doing okay.
Yeah.
Going day by day.
What to answer? It's always awkward to answer nowadays because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So the common answer is always, you're doing okay.
Okay, so are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the first question. So first question is basically, how do you guys meet each other?
It was in late 2020 in
Last
November
year.
last year.
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah. We met at a mutual friend's Deepavali open house.
Yeah.
That was before the CMCO.
Yeah. It was like the opening time of pandemic for a while, Yeah. So we went to a friend's Deepavali place and we met each other there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started talking and we found a lot of things in common. So that's how we became friends.
Yeah, and both of us love hiking and we love nature and everything. So we actually scheduled for hey, you want to go hiking next weekend and everything. So from there on, we talked and we got to know each other and everything. And we both were inclined to maybe we could start up a business in the future, but we hadn't had plans yet. Yeah, so we met and we talked and we just clicked. So we just think maybe we could start up a business together.
Oh, okay. So how long does it take for you guys to, realize that, let's start Air Boulevard?
Well, I mean, there was one time when we were hanging out and she was online shopping for candles. And she was just asking me questions about it. Like, do you think this looks nice? And I was like, I just thought in my head, it's like, okay, actually, how do you make candles? And so we just went on YouTube and started researching and we're like, okay, this is doable. So we started throwing ideas here and there that it's not just going to be candles, but we're just having a brainstorm of what we could do. But in this time, we eventually conceptualized Air Boulevard by thinking that, okay, we can bring in other products in the future, but let's start with candles because that's what we both like.
Yeah, so it's just hey, how do candles and everything. So
it all started with candles.
Yeah.
Yes, basically. I was just trying to shop online and I was just asking him, hey, how do you think this smells like? Sounds amazing. And I would want to buy it. And he's like, no, how do we make candles? And we didn't even buy the candle yet. We're just how do we make it? And then we just started from there and we just continued.
That's the first time I'm hearing shopping it's good,
I've been telling you that. Shopping is always good.
So I have to encourage you to go for more shopping, right?
Yes.
Yeah, retail therapy, exactly.
So what is it like working together in building your business? How you guys are together?
I mean, there will always be like frictions some way or another, but it's a matter of like compromise and working things out and trying to look at the end goal as opposed to what's like wrong with each other. Like instead of like pinpointing and criticizing each other, let's do and try and support each other instead, because we should always like dial back to like why we even started this in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when things get busy and when things get a bit hectic, there would be a bit of a heated moment. But like after like a cool down session and talking it out, then it's like, okay, this is what we can do, and this is what I should work on, and then we move on from there.
Yeah,
So
I guess
none of
it's
you actually had a business background, right? Both of you did not have a business background?
Not at all, I would
no,
say.
but
Not
my
at
dad
all.
is a
Wow.
business. My dad is a businessman.
Yeah, our parents are businessmen.
Yeah,
so yeah.
maybe
So
just
it's
run.
running your bloodline, is it?
Yeah.
It's already in the gene.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is that. Yeah.
All right. So how does the idea of the Air Boulevard come about?
I mean, so we were both like just sitting down and brainstorming, and we were just like the creative juice was running, and it was not like it was going on nonstop, and we just started trying to think of names. So actually, Air Boulevard was the first name that came out,
Yeah, exactly.
but we didn't want to stop there. We just kept trying new names, but it just didn't work out. We just kept coming back to the first one.
We had like, I don't know, hundreds of names that we just wrote down and just like kept searching, and we were just sitting down and we're just like writing down hundreds of names and just like maybe this, maybe not, and then
Yeah.
we're just like searching for like maybe other company has this name and everything, but it all just came back down to be like, I just told him,
Yeah.
I just want Air Boulevard. That's the first thing that you thought of. That's the first thing that we should keep at.
Yeah.
I really love the name. Yeah.
So I mean, like, sorry.
That reminds me of the time when we're trying to look for our son's name.
Oh yeah. It's always the first one looks like much catchier, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like naming your baby, I guess.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like the name came about in two parts. Like first, it was like air. So why air? I mean, like from both of us, like we feel very strongly about nature and like clean air, less pollution and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was like we thought of air. It had like a light connotation to the word.
Yes.
Like we want to see a world with like less to no pollution, cleaner environment, cleaner air, less to no litter on the streets, less garbage. I mean, we want to learn how to reuse and like not and have less consumption now.
Yeah.
So no one asked you guys, are an airline or something, or you got to do with
so it's like,
the airline?
every time I had to say
Yeah,
post
they
up,
did. They did.
Yeah, I would have to say that this has nothing to do with like previous background.
Yes. He even posted it on Facebook, and then he stayed down there. This is nothing to do with AirAsia. No link whatsoever. So like, say it out there.
Yeah.
Even some people that came about and asked like, your name is really special. Are you like working in the airline? And I'm just like, how would you figure that out? And I was like, oh, the name. Then I was like, oh, okay, it's not me, but my partner is. He's from the airline. And then like this person comes about and she's like, oh yeah, I'm from the airline too. And I was like, oh, okay.
Small world.
Yeah, what a small world. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So and then like
The
the second name like Boulevard.
Yeah.
We
Boulevard,
shortened it to BLVD for an acronym. It's like it's known to be a wide lane road street
With a lot of.
a street or avenue, and it's like lined with trees and nature along the side. So in French, it actually means promenade beside a rampart, which means that promenade is like a paved public road and rampart is like a protective barrier.
Yeah.
So I mean, putting it together, I suppose like Boulevard, the name itself has sort of like a luxury bougie feel to it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It brings
I-
together
Yeah.
urban and like the nature
Yeah.
with like a
Correct.
sense of luxury. Yes.
We've been hearing a lot about nature, hiking, and of course, that's basically the whole connotation of your business, right? Aside from the candle, and you did mention that it's not just candles; there will be some other new products as well in the pipeline. So the next question is like, how did the purpose of lessening the burden of our Mother Earth come about? Well, why that sustainable environment, eco-friendly product is really the core of the business?
Oh, perfect. Because as we mentioned, right, we both love like hiking, we do like diving, and we, snorkeling, and we've like traveled around. And no matter where or which part of the world that you're in, or like, you could be like really further up in this mountain, and you would still find trash up there.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, our business currently is not portraying that kind of image yet, but I mean, we both love candles, and we know a lot of people out there love candles as well. I mean, it's like a billion-dollar industry. So, having said that, like when pandemic hit, and a lot of people online shopping, as even ourselves,
Yeah.
like, and also like takeaway deliveries, we just started realizing that it's probably
Amount of
a huge
wastage.
increase of plastic
Yeah.
usage as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wanted to start up a business. I mean, yes, it's currently only candles, but in the future we want to bring in more products. But we want to show people that you can have a successful business
Yeah.
without the use of single-use plastics.
Yes.
So how much, guys, this COVID situation has triggered your curiosity? Can you give the COVID any credit here?
Not really. I guess not really, because maybe we met during the pandemic. So it was just like it just went with the flow, and we're just and he was on furlough and I wasn't working. So it was just like a perfect time to just like, you know what, let's just like find something to do, maybe start up a business, we'll both chip in and then we'll see what to do from here.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
when I got furloughed on my job in April this year, like I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is the time to learn and experience something new. I didn't want to go for like a 9 to 5 job where it puts me out in the open and put myself at risk of like getting infected by COVID.
Yeah.
So so I thought this was like a great time. Like I had savings where I could last maybe for until end of the year, if not more. And like, okay, we have this idea now in our head. Let's like materialize it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's not just talk about it and not do anything about it.
Yeah, it was a bit slow at the start and everything, obviously, because we had to like source and like we had to like find ideas and like pick up from where, like, we're going to go from here. But we really did try to make it work, and our friends and family were very, very helpful like throughout this whole process. Yeah.
I think this is what we say. It's either one day or it's your day one. Like from what we're listening here is that instead of just putting it off, you actually just go for it and just go with the flow, right? And see how it goes. And I think less than a year, I think you guys have done pretty well. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It was quite slow in the beginning, but it's starting to pick up as well. Yeah.
And why did you choose? Because this is something very interesting to us when we first got to know more about your products, and the part that you position your business basically through eco-friendly products, and that is something that most people are often saying like it is very expensive or it's always associated with costly things, right? So why did you guys choose actually to go for eco-friendly products?
I mean, I would totally agree with what you said.
Yeah.
There is a huge like image on eco-friendly being very expensive. I think that's because like
supply and demand.
Yeah. We feel that Malaysia is very far behind on like supplying and providing eco-friendly and biodegradable, recyclable, reusable products, which are at a very high quality, or that actually like decreases the carbon footprint. So we're trying our best we can. I mean, currently things are still expensive, but we're trying to reduce the cost. But we also feel that our product is reasonably priced.
Compared to like I think like our products are actually quite priced very well in the market, like very reasonable, affordable, because you see everybody buys candles and they're gonna cost you really expensive, honestly. And if you want to find a really good candle, it's really expensive. Like I'm pretty sure all of us bought candles. Yes, bought candles before, and we know that like buying candles itself, it's like you want it to be a sense of aromatherapy, a relaxing session and everything, but it's gonna really cost you, and you could probably use it for like 10, 15 hours, 30 hours, and then it's gone. Yeah, so we wanted to create something that it really gives like aromatherapy effect, because like our candles are made from pure essential oil,
Mhm.
and we really want to give that benefit instead of like
Mm.
giving something out there that's like renewable resources. So
Mhm.
that's it's expensive. It really is expensive. That's why people are always going for like the alternatives, like more like paraffin wax. But this kind of things actually support like the fossil fuel industry,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the fossil fuel industry are like the biggest components to making like plastics, single-use plastics especially. Yeah,
Mm.
and what more like the bigger companies actually that they can afford to be eco-friendly, but they choose not to. So
Mm.
it's like those plastic bottles like Nestle, like Coca-Cola, and like Pepsi, where they're still using single-use plastic, and it's just really sad. Whereas like we're just a startup, and we
Mhm.
really want to try, even though it's costly and everything, we really want to try to just like you know
Yeah.
yeah,
Make
make
it
it
work.
make it work, being eco-friendly, and just not like trying to ruin the earth, even though we're small and
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, it's quite interesting that you mentioned, you know, the you're trying your best to sort of like reduce anything that can contribute to carbon footprint, that sort of things, right? So in terms of like your packaging, what are the things that like, I mean, it's online business, and there's the packaging, the how do I say, the delivery that comes into, that's why it's a bit difficult to be environmentally conscious in this
Yeah,
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 we totally
time,
agree on
right?
that.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, from our product to packaging, everything we try to think of is like conceptualized around the idea of trying to be as eco-friendly
as
as
possible.
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like even the design of our packaging, we thought about it. How can we design a box for our candle but still be able to reuse it?
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, I mean, it's like we design it in such a way that it can actually be turned into a container or a flower pot.
Yeah.
So and then also like our packaging for like
Biodegradable.
our packaging for when we pack things to send around Malaysia and Singapore, everything it has to be like biodegradable or reusable.
Yes.
So
Mm, mm.
like we understand that consumerism will always be there. It's never going to stop and it's ever growing.
Yeah.
Uh, so we want to try and inspire other people who already have a business
Business.
to
Yes.
also follow in suit, because if not, they're just going to be continuously a pile of plastics in the landfills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
That's
mean,
true.
yeah, I mean our logistic companies, it still adds to the carbon footprint. Yeah, we understand that, but what can we do to minimize plastic instead?
Yeah. Even our parcels are like OXO biodegradable parcels. So
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
they actually are biodegradable plastics, instead of just using single-use plastics instead.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we, if we had the choice of not using that, we would, but it's mandatory for our logistic
Yeah.
company to
To
have a courier bag
yeah.
placed around your parcel.
Mm. So, so you guys have worked. I mean, you just met, and then you've what we call this. You started this business. A lot of people, when they start business, when they're looking for a business partner, they will try to do some, build relationship after 2-3 years of knowing each other. But you guys are like rare case lah, I would say, a bit rare case. But throughout this working together, right? Uh, I'm sure you guys know each other a bit more. So, what do you think are your individual strengths, and how you guys make it work?
Oh, I guess that one plays also in a way of how we implemented our main roles in the
Yeah.
company.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, previously to having this business, starting this business, I did not have any social media at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stay away and
Another rare person.
yeah, and she's like a huge TikToker and Instagrammer. So so
So how
like
about now? Are you guys are you still don't have, or are you still busy? Now you already have.
He's using the company Instagram account. He's on social media every single day now, and he's showing me videos on like this TikTok video, and I'm just like, yeah, I saw that like last week.
I saw it like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. You're showing me.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me too, you know. So yeah,
Are you the same? Are you the same?
almost in certain social media.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
So like saying that, then that's I would say that's her strong suit. Like in her previous background as well, handling marketing and like advertising for a previous company.
Events.
Yeah, and having events
Mhm.
in the background, she could handle that sort of the section, whereas like to me I feel maybe I'm a bit more handsy, more
Yeah.
meticulous, more black and white
Yeah.
and straightforward. So I handled like the production and the accounts and finance of the business.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
So I guess in sort of way we trying to figure out like what both of us can do and what we can do to make it work instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you already basically you have figured out the sweet spot in every one of you. How can you contribute the best, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Leverage
obviously,
on-
we're still going to ask each other, like, opinions. Like, he's going to have his role, I'm going to have my role, but I'm still going to ask him, hey, how do you feel about this? And he's still going to ask me,
Hey, can you help me out with this?
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
two-man job. Like,
Yeah.
we can't, like, just do it all on our own. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So, guys, what is your definition of living an in control life?
For me, I guess for me, I think the most important thing is just being mentally and physically strong to be able to do everything that we can do every single day. Like some people don't have the privilege of going out or like having like a stroll around the park and maybe having like a good house over the roof and everything. So like I'm just glad I have that every single day and being in control of like what I can have and what I can do every single day. I think that's the most important thing for me. In the end of the day, it's small things that make you happy.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, I would say that is doing something or doing things that you're passionate about that makes you feel happy. Um, I would say feeling contented and pursuing your passion. So I mean, previously I was happy and I felt like in control and pursuing my dream job as a pilot. But when things didn't work out for that because of COVID, it was instead of dwelling on the problem, it's like okay, let's adapt to the new situation. What else can I do that I can feel happy about and feel proud about? So I suppose like having an in control life, you would be um, sort of like knowing what you want to do and pursuing it. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually bounced back pretty fast when he knew he wasn't furlough. So I was pretty shocked because like honestly a lot of people were like they were so like down and they were in the dirt.
Devastated. Yeah.
Yeah, like friends that got retrenched or like on furlough, they were just really like they didn't know what to do with their life. They were just really sad. And
Yeah.
he was just like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's do something else. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's quick.
Well,
So I think that's the thing about being in control, right? To understand or to know or identify what is within your control and what is not within your control.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you cannot control how the economy is,
Yeah.
currently
you
affected.
can't control COVID. It's happened.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
time
so
is-
you just
yeah.
you just do it, right? And see what you can do with your life and your time at that particular time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
starting the journey to an in control life or career, right? I mean, one cannot help to fear or doubt whatever whether they can make it or are they going to be sustainable in whatever they're pursuing. And there's a
Yes.
lot of what ifs in the mind. Do you have that kind of thoughts? And what are your your fear and doubts when you first started this?
Yeah. Many times,
A
we,
lot.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would feel that they suffer imposter syndrome. So it's bound to happen. But I mean, if we feel very strongly about product and when especially after we started and friends and family started giving us like
Feedbacks.
honest, positive
Yeah.
feedback, and
Yeah.
later on we managed to even get organic sales from like
Yeah.
strangers that.
Mhm.
And when they gave us positive feedback, it made us very proud of ourselves. So
Yeah.
I guess in a way we do have doubts even like some days, but somehow or another somebody gives us a feedback that's good, and it gives us that affirmation that okay, we feel like we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Let's keep pursuing this,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean things are bound to like
Yeah, you're just bound to have like, actually every single day we doubt ourselves, but it's just like,
Yes.
So how did you overcome that when those like negative thoughts come to you and you're thinking like, hey, you better go and find a better job or something?
Suddenly some, the what we call this, the doubt monster come and creeping up your left shoulders and why are you doing this?
yeah, it's like because I have my own personal Instagram account and he uses the company account, so he always sends me stuff through like messages on Instagram. And every single day, literally every single day, like we send each other different candle companies in Malaysia. And like literally every week you can see at least one company opening up, like a candle company opening up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
we just
wow.
do not like compare ourselves. We're just like, okay, we know what we're doing. What can we improve based on this? You see, what are people showing and what do people like? Yeah, there's a lot of competition.
So the fear is not, so the fear is not only the fear that you guys are self-doubting what you're doing. It's also about like the competitions that you're getting out there too, like every day, right? Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like seeing like a lot of candle companies opening like every day. So that is interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so in a way, we still have to always remind ourselves, how can we differentiate ourselves compared to the other companies? How can we make ourselves unique? Let's focus on ourselves rather than like being too worried about other people and what they're doing. Like if somebody is doing well, okay, let's see what can we do to sort of like
improve ourselves.
Like, okay, the other person is working. How can we replicate that to fit our model as well?
Yeah.
Learning from others, and then
Instead of putting yourself down, like, oh man, this guy is selling the candles, like it looks so pretty, it looks so great. Okay, what did they do to make it work? Maybe we can do that too. But not to say completely replicate it, but follow in their footsteps. Like, okay, it's working, we can do it too.
Yeah. And it's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's really nothing wrong to do that because sometimes it's like you need to basically learn from everybody, even if it's what not to do, right? So as long as you are curious to learn more, add value, and give a better opportunity and also like experience to your customers, like, I mean, why not, right?
Yes, exactly.
And it doesn't have to be just candle companies as well. It can be any other company,
Anything about social media, you can just look upon and just like, okay, maybe we should learn something from here. How do we go from this? Yeah. Sometimes even like if he's feeling down or he's feeling like negative about things, like we both take turns to be like positive. Like sometimes I'm like, no, we can do better. We can do this. And sometimes I'll be like, damn, I hate this. Like I should have done something about it. And he's like, no, there's always a next time. So like we take turns to be like positive. So it's good. It's not a one person thing. Yeah.
You need that kind of support. I think that's the best part, having like business partners around, right? Like one person, and you cannot be positive every day, right? But then you always have to have the support. And I like that you mentioned that you have the support from your family, from your friends, from your close contacts to be able to support you and give you that fuel to move further.
How different you guys are in terms of like are you an emotional person? You're a logical person. Like how do you guys complement one another? That's also important.
Oh my god!
Emotional.
There was this one. He got angry and he told me this. Why you're such an emotional person?
Okay, that is the wrong question to ask. And I did tell him too. That's not the question that you should ask the women.
They're not talking about us,
No. I'm relating.
Suddenly it turns back to me.
I'm just relating. I can relate to you, girl. I can relate to you.
Well, I guess like majority men, I suppose, are more problem solvers and more logical. Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being emotional, but I suppose.
Oh no.
Like,
Whatever you said, you can't take it back. I think
Sweating.
you can you can choose to stay quiet, right?
yeah, I think from now on, I'll
Whatever
just
comes next, you might trigger back. So yeah, I mean, my when I'm in that kind of situation, I always say like, I'm afraid I might say something wrong. Just give me a moment. I will comment later.
Okay.
Yeah, so
so
Mrs.
that,
Tanner is the emotional one, and then Clifford, you're the logical ones.
yeah, but it can also kind of like backfire sometimes because like especially for me, maybe I sometimes get a bit too excited or maybe too optimistic about decision making, and then bringing her emotional side into it, then she starts to also analyze. Okay, like what if we can't sell this many? What if we can't get or like the price is too high or too low?
Yeah.
So sort of like brings me back down to the question. Okay, like what should we do instead?
Yeah. Like sometimes like he gets really excited and be like, oh, let's add this, let's add that, let's do this. And I just sit down there and look at it and I'm like, wait, let's think this through first before saying
Wow.
yeah.
So it's the other way around. Look at who is emotional.
Yeah. So that's why.
That's your secret. All right. Yeah, you guys are complimenting one another like
Yeah, that's
really
a really
well.
nice mix of what I call this business relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So for our audience here, that they also having like a pretty good job. They are they're growing in their own career, basically. Like, so why and how it's good to get out of their comfort zone. Like, how is it this sparkle the whole notion of getting in control? Because a lot of people, they like you guys, they don't have a bad career. It's not like they're unhappy about what they're doing. So why and how they should do that and get out of their comfort zone?
Okay.
I mean, I guess I feel that not everyone is the same. Everyone is different because sometimes people can be repetitive or content with doing repetitive things. Some people like that comfort zone, but sometimes people like to break out of their comfort zone. There are pros and cons. That to say that okay, like I want to get out of my comfort zone. I want to grow. I want to adjust. I want to expand and learn new things.
Yeah,
But sometimes people may not want to do that.
Yeah, they're just afraid to like step out of it and like they just
I mean, maybe they could be afraid or not afraid as well. So
yeah, some people just like really unhappy with the just like being in their zone and not breaking out from it.
yeah,
But if you feel like you could do more and everything, and if you don't break out of your comfort zone, you kind of just wasting your life here on earth. Like in the end of the day, you don't want to end this thing with like, why didn't I do that? Why is there regret? What if I did this when I was younger? Maybe like I could be happier when I'm older. Yeah.
The regret. Yeah.
The regret. So like you don't want to have that in the end of the day. So if you can like maybe break out of your comfort zone and do what you really want to do, then do it. Because like if not, you're just gonna regret in the end.
If you're not happy with what you're doing
Yeah.
or you're second guessing or thinking about other things that could make you happy, then yeah, by all means,
Do it.
yeah, just
Just
pursue
go
it.
it. Yeah. Do
But
it.
if you are content with what you're doing and you're happy, then I don't see anything wrong with that.
I mean, not necessary everybody needs to open up a business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But if they have this strong feeling of wanting to do it,
But a lot of times where like I am very sure I have a lot of friends where they're like, I really want to start up a business, and then you just go ask and proceed to ask a question like, hey, okay, well, what kind of business you want to start up? And their question and their like answers would normally be, I really don't know. I really don't know. I want to start up a business, but I really don't know what I want to do. So like in a lot of times where like there's this thing, the internet's actually really helpful. You could just go online and just search up like startup business that you could do. like 100 startup business that you could think of, like anything like drop shipping and like all this really like famous things where like everybody can actually do without any startup or any model. You can just do it. So like any sort of business that you do, as long as like you know what you want to do and you're happy with it, and or you want to just start it up for the sake of just starting it up, and in the future along the line when you've collected enough money and you really want to do something about it, then go ahead. So the internet is there. Everybody can just accept it and do whatever they want with it. So it's important that they do it.
So you just have to be proactively find all these resources. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So one thing my sister always told me is that like there's a huge amount of resources available online that is free. Not everything is requires money to do or to learn. So you just have to keep actively looking for it, and like trying to make things work. So it's like, for instance, like maybe our situation is marketing. It's like we think that okay, we need to pay for ads, we need to do this, we need to do that, and everything requires money. But there are other ways also to doing it for free as well. So we just have to keep learning. I mean, like YouTube is such a huge platform that we even started our business from. So
like we learned everything off like YouTube, like how to make this, how to improve ourselves, what formula to use and everything. So everything just started off online. It's just there.
Yeah. So what are the strings attached to you guys when you first wanted to start this journey? Has there been like any obstacles or any things that pulling you guys back that it triggered to live an in control life?
What are this?
I would say maybe like for me, my yearning was that I wanted to learn and experience something new. So it's like I didn't want to just go back to an office job where I'll be sitting in a cubicle and just like typing away. So like I wanted to expand my own set of skills, to say like okay, like from marketing to production to accounting, finances to like sales and everything. So I guess that was a trigger for me. I don't know about you.
I've mentioned this to him before. Before we started out of the business, I was actually working as a purchaser, and before that, I was doing events and everything. And as like I was very close to all my previous bosses, so I learned a lot of things from them, and it just influenced you to be like, I really want to be a boss of my own company, and in the end of the day, like I really want to do something that I want. But no matter what, I just didn't find anybody that could work with me in that direction. So when I met him, and I met him on my birthday last year, so I guess it was like a calling for me, like, okay, you can work with this person and like, build something that you've always wanted to do. So it was more like I've really wanted to do for like the longest time ever. And plus like, it's always so hard to find somebody that like, okay, I really want it to be eco-friendly, and I want it to be like in the same direction as me and everything, because everybody's always gonna say like, okay, cheap alternatives. Let's just go for it.
How can I make more money? That's basically it's always about that, right?
Exactly. So we want to run a business, but at the same time, we want to be like, conscious about like our environment and everything around us. But like, not a lot of people are going to be that. And honestly, when we were doing our packaging, a lot of people told us like, our packaging is really expensive. Don't do it. A lot of people told us that. Don't do it. It's expensive.
It's really amazing actually when we are listening to you guys, and that's what when we know about we know you guys as a person, but knowing about your purpose and reason behind like what you are doing, and then getting conscious about it, that you wanna contribute back to the community that we are living in. I mean that is just like simply amazing. I mean I'm saying this really from my heart, because we talk to a lot of young people, and they don't really go that far. For them, it's just like get rich fast, or so the purpose that they're setting, it's not really something that it makes a lot
not
of
impactful.
It's not impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why people get like lured into only just wanting to make a business work out of money. But there are a lot of other successful businesses out there that made money even because their main focus was not because of money, but because of like supporting a cause or supporting what they believe in, or trying to send out a message of what they believe in. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what we want to do in the long run, and not just focus on money.
Yeah, like you guys too. You guys are trying to send out a message to everybody, like in control. You're trying to tell everybody, like, our lives are more than this, and you're supposed to be in control and everything. So in a way, it's like it works. Like you're trying to send out a message, and you're trying to give a cause to people.
Yeah.
So we're doing it in a different way, a different
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
So
So the core message is there, the core purpose is there, right? So
Yeah.
are you guys happy with what you're doing right now?
Well, I mean, definitely, because like it's very rewarding when someone you don't know buys your own product,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
they're very happy about it,
yeah,
and they tell us why they're happy about it. So
Yeah.
I think in that way, it's like we feel like we can keep going on with this, even though from a 9 to 5 job has become a 24/7
24/7. Yes.
kind of job. Yeah,
Um,
but I feel like it makes it all worthwhile when
Yeah.
we get that kind of feedback.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys are basically living that the things that I always explain, that love what you do, love who you do it with, and love
Yes.
who you do it for, right? So
Yeah.
you are basically having a tick in all the three elements of being
Yeah.
happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like starting this business, I say the hardest thing to do is when to allocate your off day.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Because
I mean,
like
it's a journey.
yeah, and even when you're on your off day, your mind is still running. Okay,
Yeah.
what can we do next?
Exactly. Like there's this one time I was sleeping while I was talking about work. Like I was sleep talking about work. Like
You're still talking about it. Okay.
I have done that many times. I have conducted a full training and talks while I was sleeping. I
are you
even asked him
serious?
to take notes.
Oh my god.
While I was sleeping.
So like
Yeah.
it was really shocking for me that like my friend told me like I was talking about work while I was sleeping, and I was in a very clear like tone talking about work, and he was so shocked about it, and I was like, really? That's how bad it is. Like,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a journey. I think whenever people go into entrepreneurship, starting their own business, people always say that, oh, I want to be my own boss so that I can have a sense of control of how much I work. I can start working at 12 noon and have a 4-hour work week and all that stuff. But truth to be told, it's 24/7. Yes, but then there's always that discovering like how best you work, right? And having that discipline. So what sort of discipline did you think that you need to develop in order to succeed in this path?
commitments.
Yeah.
You have
I
to
guess,
commit.
yeah, because I mean, in the beginning, we already had to tell ourselves, are we really serious about this?
Yeah.
Is this what we really want to do? And also another thing is whether we strongly believe in our product or not. So, having said that, there are people when they buy, they are depending on us. They are expecting a product to arrive at their doorstep. So, I would say that discipline comes with their commitments, no?
Yeah, like you want to provide as much as you can for our customers and ourselves. And I always believe that, like, if I want to sell something to other people, no matter what, I definitely want it to be the best of the best product.
Yeah.
So like,
Quality.
we want to offer the same thing to like people outside there, like because we buy candles, and if like I make candles that are not up of standard to my standards, then there's really no point of just like selling it to them. So
Yeah.
This is one of the things that you have been very consistent about it, right?
yeah. So
I
that
think-
one too.
Yeah, so I think that's why it's important to become the shopper first.
Yeah.
Because you know what you want, right? True or not?
We're going back to that. Yeah.
So somebody is trying to promote shopping again.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you guys needed to learn? I mean, what kind of conversion both of you need to go through in order to succeed in this journey? I think that has been a lot for both of you, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
We had
What
a
have
lot
you
of
learned, and what do you think that you're gonna have to learn?
Mm.
That's a
so
lot. Yeah.
much. We had a lot of issues with each other at this point of time, trying to learn everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not just like with each other as well, but like things out of our control
Yeah,
as well. So
exactly.
it's been a huge learning like process. The learning curve is like really high.
Yeah.
But we just kept trying to find solutions and kept adapting to it.
Yeah.
And any hiccups that we received, any money lost, I would say it we would take it as a cheap lesson, cheap learning lesson.
Yeah.
So
we had to learn a lot of things.
learning from yourself, your own experience as well, and just be resilient, right?
Yeah. So I think everything from just like making candles, handcrafting it, to like actually like obviously when you make candles, it's not like the first try you do you're going to be perfect, and that's the exact candle that I'm going to sell with that formula. No, because
there's a lot of like trial and errors,
Yes.
like research and development.
exactly.
So I guess that would be the beginning of what we learned. Is actually making candles. But talking about starting the business, I would say first one was definitely like sourcing and purchasing, and dealing with suppliers, trying to figure out your expenses and how you're going to make the money and how you're going to price your product as well.
Yeah, like everything to like start up, even like to start up our own business, we had to go to the office and we had to figure it out what documents are meant to be given and what are we supposed to keep and how much we're supposed to pay. So everything, like you learn everything at once, and then
I don't think that's a problem. I think anyone can do it, because like if we can do it, anyone can. It's just a matter of like taking your initiative of having to try and figure out how to do it, what you need to learn. And again, saying that you have this huge resource online. Everyone has like experienced the same thing. There will be at least somebody who experienced the same thing and is willing to teach. So
that's one thing that we both learned is that don't be so ego. Like there's, as what he said, there's other people that are willing to teach you. Just go and ask. It's just one simple thing. Just ask, like, hey, how do we do this? We can't work this out. Like, help.
And if they don't want to answer, it's like, okay, then I'll look for someone else.
Exactly. And even
That's why
like
I always say, like, your ego basically sometimes your enemy. I mean, not sometimes. I think most of the times the ego is always the enemy, right?
And not to be afraid to say you don't know. It's just a matter of like, okay, I don't know this, and what can we do to know what we don't know, right? So what's the key highlight of your business so far?
Collaborating.
collaborate. Okay,
collaborating.
collaborating.
I would say
Okay.
collaborating. The key highlight was definitely like collaborating with like the like two big companies, Inner Sojo and Chacha Kombucha. I think like especially Chacha Kombucha being our first collaboration.
Yeah.
It
Even
was-
before we launched our company, we actually collaborated with a different company. So
and seeing our product out there and being advertised, I thought that was quite cool.
yeah, that was a good start, honestly,
Yeah.
because that actually gave us like a really positive outlook to like continue with this.
Yeah.
Because in the midst of like this collaboration, we actually haven't launched our products, and we had like a huge delay from our local supplier. Yeah. So it caused a delay for like 2 months to actually launch our official product. So in that period of time, we had this collaboration, and it was just perfect because like we didn't want to just depend on like our own product sales, and then we had this opportunity to like, okay, we can do more.
Okay, so it's like the idea is to just accept it first and then try and figure out how to do it later, because you don't want to just like lose out on any kind of opportunities out there.
So
So will you guys, if I ask you guys to wrap up the session as well, so will you guys return back to your the career that you have studied for it? You spend a lot of time to be prepared for that. Would you do that?
Will you be back to the pilot? And for you, Shani, will you be back Will you become a lawyer eventually after this?
I do. I'm doing my degree in law, so like I do want to complete it. I can't say for sure that I really want to become a lawyer and everything, but I do want to practice, at least take the bar and like see where I can go from there. But this business is still a passion of
It's
mine.
still our baby.
Yes, it's still our baby.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would love to go back flying because I do miss flying. It's a huge passion of mine. It has always been my dream as well. But having said that, I would still love to try and make this company work as well. When I'm not flying, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to like segregate the timing and everything. We'll see how it goes in the future, but we're definitely we'll do as much as we can.
So hopefully by then, when COVID is over or like SOP is less restrictive, hopefully by then it's self-sustainable, it's self-running, and we can get people to help us maintain it and run it for us.
So what kind of impact would you like to have on this world as a final say?
Oh, okay. So
I mean, I guess we both agree is that we don't
think we can make a big impact on the world because we're small startup.
But we want to focus solely on Malaysia local SMEs.
Yeah, like we want to improve economically for them, and also for them to like know that this process, everything can be done without the usage of like single-use plastic.
Yeah. We can still run a business on biodegradable products or recyclable products and still make it look great, and still provide that same level of standards. Yeah.
Well,
So
you might never know that that small thing can actually make a huge impact. You know.
Well,
we
can't tell.
we have future projects in mind that we want to pursue in the future.
Yeah.
But
that is for
stay tuned.
It's really amazing to see you guys. Young people like you guys, that you are also having that kind of impact that you would like to make in the world.
Yes. So last question. Where can our listeners find and connect with you guys?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, we started out with Instagram, so you can find us at Air BLVD on Instagram, so you guys can check out that. We have an Instagram shop, so that's everything there. We have our official website, so you just go to airblvd.shop, and that's our official website, and we're also on Shopee. So on Shopee is the same, AIRBLVD, and we're on there. We're having a discount right now. So
You guys should try.
So it's AIRBLVD.
Yes, correct.
Okay. On Instagram, website, your online store is the website, and also Shopee.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Shani and Clifford, for your thoughts, experience, aspiration. I think we wish you all the best in your venture, right, guys? It's all right. I think from our conversation, what we can learn here is that it's all right to give a pause to your current career and your study and seek the opportunity, get curious, and pursue your passion, just like Clifford and Shani.
Yeah, before we end our podcast, we would like to ask you these 3 questions. So question number 1 would be, what is it in your life that you are curious about to know more? And the second question is that what stops you to pursue your curiosity and being in control? And the third one would be, what does it take and who you should become to get in control of your life purpose?
All right. So thank you very much once again, Shani and Clifford.
Okay.
Yeah, all the best.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We're waiting for your future project that you mentioned just now. We had the opportunity and privilege to get to know that firsthand. All right. Okay. So this is the end of our podcast. We hope that this conversation has inspired you to know and learn more with us. Right? Don't forget to tune into our next podcast. And as always, we love to have you around. And thank you for listening.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.